Welcome back to the deep dive. You sent us an absolute mountain of sources all under this holiday shakeup, the rumor mill label, and wow, if this stuff is accurate, the whole landscape isn't just shifting.
No, it's like an earthquake, especially heading into the new year, that critical run to WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to try and filter out the noise, find the real power moves buried in all this speculation. We need to figure out who is actually positioning themselves for the biggest matches of the year.
And it's so hard to keep up. The rate of change right now is it's staggering. You've got major titles swapping hands. You have characters being pulled in completely different directions. So we need to go beyond just, reporting who has the belt like Carmelo Hayes or Jade Cargill and really dig into what these changes are signaling for the long-term plan.
Right.
And we absolutely have to talk about that bizarre custody battle that's brewing over that gimmick.
Yeah, for sure. And the timeline here is what makes it so critical. We're in that weird period where shows are pre-taped, so everything's kind of hidden.
Yeah, behind the curtain.
But that curtain is about to lift. January 5th, the live shows are back, and that's when these rumors either become real or they explode.
Yeah.
That's the starting line. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with a major title swap that just feels like they're sacrificing a smaller piece to win the whole game. I'm talking about the United States title.
Going from Ilja Dragunov to Carmelo Hayes.
Yes. And that shift, it feels like it's less about Melo and more about freeing up Ilja.
It's entirely about freeing up Ilja. To get why that move was so necessary, you have to look at the history of that title, especially over the last couple of years.
The open challenge format. The sources point to that immediately. John Cena did it, Sami Zayn, and especially Ilja Dragunov. That's a huge commitment.
It is. It means you're in the ring constantly, high-octane matches week after week.
And the sources have a name for this period. They call it the Cruel Intentions era, right? Because of Dragunov's style.
Exactly. That grueling pace, it pushed him beyond his limits, and eventually the company just hit a wall. The matches were incredible, sure, but they weren't sustainable, and more importantly, they were limiting.
You can't put him in a bigger story if he's defending the belt every single week.
You can't. So enter Carmelo Hayes. The sources describe him as all flash and ego, which tells you everything.
Yeah, we're moving away from the gritty workhorse champion.
Completely. The expectation is he's going to be this cocky heel champion. He'll be super selective about who gets a shot. You'll have to earn it.
Which is a smart way to slow things down. Protect the champion, protect the belt.
And it ties directly into that other huge rumor.
Trick Williams to SmackDown.
Trick Williams to SmackDown. If that happens, you immediately get to reignite the biggest story NXT has produced in years.
Oh, absolutely. The Hayes versus Williams feud, but now it's on the main stage, with Melo holding the gold, using it as a weapon against his old friend. It's a ready-made story.
It's a perfect fit. Hayes gets this huge platform for his heel persona. Trick gets an immediate, credible program. It's a win-win for SmackDown's mid-card.
But let's circle back to Ilja. I get it, you need to free him up. But isn't that kind of a risk? You pull a title off a guy as hot as Dragunov just to throw him into the main event against an unbeatable monster.
See, that's the core of it. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it wasn't really a choice. It was a necessity.
A necessity?
Yeah, because there's a scarcity of credible challengers at the very top. Gunther has been so dominant, you need someone the audience genuinely believes could, break him.
And that someone is Ilja.
That someone is Ilja. The Royal Rumble is right around the corner, and the fans already believe he can do it. They remember those legendary NXT UK matches.
Right, that history is already baked in.
So by taking the U.S. title off him, you're removing that burden. He's clean, he's fresh, and he's ready for a top-tier fight. It's not just a push, it's a launch pad. It's the highest leverage move they have.
Wow. Okay, that really deepens the strategy. You trade the mid-card belt for a direct shot at the main event. Smart. Very smart if the rumors are true. But if a title is key to launching a star, what happens when the star itself, the very idea of the character, is up for grabs? Which brings us to this absolutely bizarre custody battle, the Americano dilemma.
This story is so unique, and we should probably clarify how this works because the names can get confusing. We're talking about the Americano persona, right? This flamboyant, masked character.
Yeah.
And right now, that character is part of a tag team, the two Americanos, Rayo and Bravo Americano. And that's Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Okay, but the whole mess started because of an injury. Chad Gable, who originated the persona, he got hurt and his character just vanished.
Right, created a vacuum.
Right.
And Ludwig Kaiser stepped in to fill it. Now, the fans knew it was him. The sources point out his body type made it pretty obvious, but he didn't just fill in.
No, he made it his own.
Yeah.
He added his own swagger, and this version of the character has become incredibly popular.
So popular that it's getting traction outside the company in places like AAA. That's a huge deal.
And that success is what creates this sticky spot, as the source calls it.
Because the rumor that will not die is that Chad Gable is coming back maybe in 2026, and when he does, he's expected to demand his rightful property back.
He's going to claim Kaiser stole his gimmick while he was on the shelves. But here's the question. Did the writers ever intend for Kaiser to be temporary? Or is this just Gable's take on what was basically a successful accident?
That's the whole tension, isn't it? You have the original creator coming back to claim his intellectual property, and you have the substitute who not only kept it going, but made it even bigger.
So who has the greater claim, the creator or the performer who made it a hit?
Here's where it gets really interesting. The conflict isn't just a simple feud. It's about owning a character arc. Who gets custody of Rayo and Bravo?
Oh, what about Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate? They're the Americanos right now, with Kaiser. The sources say they're having a blast.
They are. So where does their loyalty lie? With Gable, the guy who came up with the idea, or with Kaiser, the guy they're having all this success with? That's a deep character question.
It complicates everything. Are you loyal to the friend, or are you loyal to the momentum?
And we should mention the Creed brothers. They haven't been on TV since Gable got hurt.
Right.
They're expected to come back when he does, so this won't just be two guys arguing. It's going to be two full factions. An organizational nightmare for creative, but pure theater for us.
Messy seems to be the theme here. Let's shift to the women's division, which the sources just flat out call a bit of a mess, especially the tag team scene.
Yeah, it's inconsistent. A lot of that is down to just revolving doors, shifting priorities, but we have seen some real high points recently. The sources really praise the run that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss had.
That title run was huge for Charlotte, it says here. He gave her positive credit back with the fans after a rough patch.
It really did. And there's a little personal detail in the source material that Alexa had actually reached out to Charlotte when she was struggling, and that real-life support, you could feel it in their chemistry on screen.
It felt organic.
Very organic. Now, compare that to what we have now. The Kabuki warriors, Asuka and Kairi, are described as heels with the belts doing everything to keep them, and they're just allowed to run amok.
So pure heel chaos, which is fun, but it means the rest of the division doesn't have a stable force to fight against.
Their reign is defined by that chaos. The dream match, the one everyone wants to see, is Charlotte and Alexa versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky.
With the condition of no interference.
No interference. That match is the pinnacle of the division's talent.
And you can't forget the physical threats looming. Nia Jax and Lash Legend. The sources call them a headache just based on their strength alone.
Yeah.
They're a force you can't out-wrestle.
Absolutely. So the talent is there. It's the narrative coherence that's missing. And that is maybe most obvious over on SmackDown with the women's title.
Held by Jade Cargill.
Yeah, and the sources are pretty blunt. They say she's still finding her way as a heel, and that the writers don't know what to do with her right now.
That is not what you want to hear about a major champion.
It suggests a creative stall. I mean, her current story is with Michin, but the source notes Michin is not strong enough to hold her own in that feud. So it's not really elevating anyone.
And the feuds that would elevate her are all blocked.
Exactly. The big one, a feud with Rhea Ripley, that would be an instant star maker for Jade. But it's impossible. Rhea is busy with Io in the tag division.
And then there's the unfinished story with Bianca Belair, the long-term money match.
Which is on hold because of a really, really serious injury.
This is where the injury report is basically writing the script for the whole division. Bianca Belair is out because of what happened at WrestleMania 41. She broke her knuckle and joint in 3 places.
And the specifics here are important. The source says her finger won't bend completely. That's a major orthopedic issue. It affects everything. Gripping, striking.
So the biggest feud the division needs is just off the table. It's gone until she's cleared.
And she's not the only one. Tiffany Stratton is also out. It was a scheduled break after she lost the belt, but she also has some nagging knee issues. She's been doing a promotional tour to stay visible, though.
Right.
But crucially, the sources all agree that by storyline logic, Tiff should get the first title shot when she comes back.
So Jade Cargill's reign is essentially just waiting for Bianca, waiting for Tiffany. The whole thing is dictated by a medical timeline.
A total holding pattern.
Okay, so let's try to put all this together as we head towards WrestleMania. You've got major title shifts designed to create main eventers. You have this hilarious custody battle over a character, and the entire women's division is basically paralyzed, waiting for key people to heal.
Which raises a really important question. With all these moving pieces, title changes, injury returns, gimmick ownership, how much of what we see on January 5th is going to follow this rumor mill?
Right.
And how much is going to be a shocking new direction because they were forced to pivot?
It all comes back to that date, doesn't it? The run to WrestleMania officially starts then. Everything we've been talking about, all this speculation, it's about to be put to the test.
That's the moment they have to commit.
So we want you to watch that date closely and ask yourself, which storyline, the massive Ilja and Gunther build, the Kaiser and Gable custody fight, or the scramble for the SmackDown Women's title, which one will be the first to either prove these rumors right or just explode in a totally new direction?
That first live show is going to tell us everything. It's the starting gun for the most critical part of the year.
Thank you for sharing your sources and letting us take this deep dive with you. We'll catch you next time.